Hi guys, so I was so impressed with Dior Riviera perfume that I wanted to delve deeper and do a bigger review of La Collection Privée by Christian Dior fragrances. So La Collection Privée Christian Dior is the limited edition fragrance line by the House of Dior. And that collection consists of 28 fragrances for him, her, them, they, you. It's really a collection that's designed for everyone. It's designed to be shared. So it's one of those things that I'm hoping my husband and I can find one that we love, because that's going to make it so much easier to travel and just take one perfume we can share. So Dior actually has several perfume creators, so not all of the fragrances in La Collection Privée Christian Dior are by the same creator, which is what makes it so diverse. So obviously I'm not going to try all 28 perfumes in this review, although I wish I could, and I wish I had them all, because there's lots I want to try, like Happy Hour and Eden-Roc, but I am going to review a few of their bestsellers like Ambre Nuit, Gris Dior, and Dior Riviera, which I've already reviewed once before, but I'm going to put it in here as well to make everything all in one place and easy to find. So because there are 28 fragrances right now in La Collection Privée Christian Dior and they keep adding to it, it can get a bit overwhelming, especially if you're shopping online and trying to narrow it down to what you're actually looking for. So a lot of them will have their fragrance notes when you're looking at the thumbnails. It will also show the intensity from 0 to 4 dots. So if you're looking for something milder or something for the day, maybe look for 0, 1, maybe 2 dots. If you're looking for a more intense smell or an evening fragrance, maybe look to the 3 to 4 dots. That way you can narrow it down before you even start clicking through the thumbnails and reading more details. So I apologize if I sound a bit hoarse. I'm mic'd up, so hopefully you can hear me, but I'm recovering from tonsillitis, but I wanted to get this content done before I start traveling again. So price-wise, the La Collection Privée Christian Dior fragrances come in 2 to 3 sizes, which will obviously affect the price. The prices start at $150 and go all the way up to $450 right now for their full-size perfumes. So I wanted to share with you one of the tips I have for smelling perfume the right way and remembering how to smell the perfume, kind of the order. I know it's really one of those simple things, but it's the 4 Ps. It kind of makes it more fun anyway. And it's going to be paper, person, patience, perception. So we'll go through all of those as we crack on with the first La Collection Privée Christian Dior fragrance, which is going to be Ambre Nuit. So Ambre Nuit is by perfume creator Francois de Maché. I'm sorry if I butchered the pronunciation of his name. And the first thing you'll notice is the color of the perfume compared to another one. Do you see this one, the Ambre Nuit, has those amber colors. It's that yellow, golden, rich tones. And Ambre Nuit is from the warm floral family, so we are kind of expecting that more floral, warm, sweet, intense, powerful fragrance. And the 2 main notes in this are supposed to be amber and Turkish rose. So we'll spray it on paper first, we'll give it a little waft around, and then we'll try it on me and see how it sits. Now I found with the Dior Riviera, 2 sprays was enough. 3 kind of made it overpowering. So we'll see how this is. This is supposed to be a powerful, intense, so I'm figuring 1 for the day, 2 for the night. Wow. Oh, yeah, I can see what they mean about this being a unisex perfume. It is warm and spicy and intense. It's like being wrapped in a cashmere, cozy blanket in front of a fireplace with a bowl of roses in the center of the coffee table. That is really lovely. I don't know if I'd like it on my husband. It might sit differently on skin, but this, although it's warm and spicy, it's still pretty clean. It doesn't have that tobacco or leathery smell to it. It's still sticking in that amber rose. It's very, very clear, this fragrance. So this perfume is actually supposed to embody 2 extremes and kind of be the beauty and beast of perfumes, embodying both light and dark. And that darkness of the warmth of the amber is supposed to be offset and balanced out by the lightness and delicateness of, is delicateness a word? Delicacy of the Turkish rose. And I can see exactly what they're doing with this. It's one of the clearest fragrance notes and descriptions I've seen in Dior fragrances, actually. And that spiciness is there without it being too strong or too masculine. It's really well balanced. So let's pop this on my skin now that I know I like it. I'm not going to be stuck with it on my skin all day with something I don't like, and see how it develops. I did 2 sprays, so I kind of missed the first time. And it is a really powerful perfume. So I don't think I'd wear Ambre Nuit as a day perfume. I definitely think, or even in the summer, this is to me a winter evening, cozy fire, red wine drinking perfume. So it is a really powerful perfume without being overwhelming, but I guess it depends how much you put on. For me, this is definitely not a light daytime fragrance. It's not a summer fragrance. I'm getting a very winter evening perfume. Think like cuddled up in front of the fireplace with a jammy red wine. This is a really sensual perfume, but let's see how it sits and develops over the next half hour or so. So I let the Ambre Nuit Dior perfume sit for about 30 minutes. It definitely faded quite a lot over that time and softened it up. And Dior nailed the description when they say it's two extremes, because it is one of those powerful but soft perfumes. And that might not make sense to you until you smell it. And once you smell it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So I did get a couple of people's feedback on it, and they said they liked it and that it was very floral. So for me, a like isn't enough for me to want to go out and spend this much on a perfume. It has to be, oh my God, I love it, what are you wearing, kind of thing. Or for me to at least feel that way, or for it to make me feel confident or sexy or something else. It does feel sensual, it feels warm, but I wouldn't spend this amount of money on this particular fragrance from Dior. In saying that, I do like it, and I would definitely be finishing the free sample. So Gris Dior is an intense unisex eau de parfum, and honestly it's the one I'm the least excited about trying. I mean, the name itself, grey, is kind of like, I don't want a perfume called grey. I love all kind of like J'adore and all the fun names. It also, with the name, I'm thinking it's going to be more masculine than unisex, and I tend to like more feminine floral smells. So the main notes of Gris Dior are chypre or cypress, which is obviously woody, and it's also supposed to be very warm, floral, and intense. So Gris Dior, as the name might suggest, is really supposed to be an expression of grey, which is the iconic colour of the House of Dior, and it's really supposed to embody their bold spirit. So let's see how we go with this one. So the colour of Gris Dior is a very transparent, clear, light perfume, unlike the Ambre Nuit, which was kind of more of that golden tone. Actually, I'm really pleasantly surprised with that. That's a lot cleaner than I thought it was going to be, and it's a lot more floral than I thought it was going to be. When it says cypress notes and warm and woody, I was expecting it to be, like I said, very masculine and like grey, just kind of like a dull perfume. It's actually very bright, light, and a lot more floral than I thought it was going to be. So let's pop this on and see how it sits on the skin. Okay, so the Gris Dior, like all of the perfumes I've tried so far from the La Collection Privée Christian Dior collection, are so intense. I just put one spray on and it's literally filled the entire room. It's incredibly strong. So I feel like this, it does say, so if you're looking for a strong or weak fragrance, I think I talked about this already quickly, this is 3 out of 4 on the intensity scales. I cannot imagine what their 4s are like, because one spray is definitely enough. And this is from the travel size. What I noticed between doing, you know, the larger ones in the Dior boutique versus the travel size, obviously you're getting a much larger spritz in the full size bottle. Even the travel size, 1 spritz of the Gris Dior is plenty. So if you're looking for a strong statement perfume, yes, these are probably for you. If you're looking for an everyday, softer wearing piece, probably not so much. They are very, very intense. So originally I thought the Gris Dior was going to be very masculine because of the woodiness. There is a lot of woodiness in there, and it's definitely not an eau de parfum that I would wear, but I am getting the floral notes in there. I'm not necessarily picking up on the fruitiness that they say is in there, but woody and floral for sure. So it is a very multifaceted perfume. So I feel like all of their fragrances are, they're not 1 or 2 notes. They've got a lot going on, which makes you want to keep smelling them. They're quite addictive. But this one, I have to say, I like it better than I thought I was going to like it, but it's still not for me. It's still a little too warm and woody. So Dior Riviera Eau de Parfum is another unisex perfume from La Collection Privée Christian Dior. I've reviewed it before, but rather than you having to scope out another video, I'm just going to review it again here, and I'm going to put it straight on my skin because I know I really like this perfume. It is, the predominant notes of this one are fig and rose. So let me spritz it for you. And again, the color of this one is very clear and light. And this is another perfume by Francis Kurt de Jean. I'm sure I'm butchering that pronunciation, I do apologize. And it's such a beautiful, light, summery fragrance. It kind of really does kind of take you back to summers in the Mediterranean. Bright summer day, white florals, the jasmines, the magnolias, and obviously the rose in there. Although they say it is kind of like that summer scent, to recollect kind of summery smells, they did design it to be worn year round, but for me, I still feel like this is a perfume I would just wear in the summer. So Dior Riviera really draws upon two concepts, which seems to be a recurring theme throughout the Collection Privée. So this one draws upon both the south of France and Paris, which is where Dior Riviera was created. So I've learned a lesson the hard way. I'm only going to use 2 sprays of this because when I did 3, even hours later, their perfumes can go from being really beautiful to almost being nauseating when they're just too strong. I'm about to get in the car and I don't want to be like overwhelmed with it. So Dior Riviera, I'm going to put this in my purse in case I want to add more later. Is my favorite so far that I've tried from the Collection Privée Christian Dior fragrances, just because for me it's the most feminine, it's the most floral, and it really does change throughout the day. And again, it's another one of their perfumes that balances soft and statement strong perfume so well. It's quite an intense perfume with that summery, soft freshness, if that makes sense. If it doesn't, try and get some of this in your hands so you can smell it for yourself, because like I said, it is my favorite from their collection so far that I've tried. So I did get some feedback on the Dior Riviera, and I was kind of driving in the car thinking I liked it, and then I met my parents and they're like, what is that? We do not like that. And they were very, it wasn't like, oh, maybe. It was, no, we do not like that at all. It's too grassy, too green. And they found it very, overpowering. And that was just with 2 sprays of it. So the Dior Riviera kind of moved to the bottom of the pile for me. However, when I was in the Dior boutique yesterday, I was kind of trying to tell them the fragrances I liked and what I didn't like and why I didn't like some of the fragrances. And I was saying I kind of like Chanel No. 5, Coco Mademoiselle, Miss Dior, the very floral but elegant scents that were quite sophisticated statement perfumes. They're still strong, but they don't necessarily have that woodiness. They don't have the spiciness and the warmth that a lot of the La Collection Privée fragrances do. And they suggested Eden-Roc. They said it was their favorite, and it kind of got pushed to the wayside because it was this massive media hype all over Dior Riviera, and they said it's not their favorite either. So it's also a pretty pink color, which I liked about it. Anyway, this perfume now has gone to the top of my favorites of the Collection Privée from Christian Dior fragrances. Eden-Roc was another fragrance designed in this collection to really embody those sunny Mediterranean days, and it definitely does do that. So for me, Eden-Roc is one of those really kind of sunny, white floral fragrances. It does have some woodiness and citrus to it, but not overwhelmingly so. It doesn't, you know, sometimes a woody fragrance can make it too warm. For me, it's not a warm fragrance. It's still light and bright, and the citrus doesn't get into that kind of like cleaning detergent polish, furniture polish kind of category. It's a really lovely summery perfume. When I sprayed it, one spritz was enough. It's a very intense perfume. It's 3 out of the 4 on the Dior intensity scale, and it is intense. 1 spray and done, and it definitely does it keeps developing as you wear it. It doesn't change too much, but it does keep its strength. So I don't think, oh, I'll just put 2 because it's going to fade. It really didn't fade, but I just love the floralness of it. And when I first sprayed it, it was that initial kind of walking into a hotel room in the Caribbean or the Mediterranean and smelling the sea and smelling the flowers that they put in the room for you. It's just a really lovely summer fragrance, but like I said, a very strong, intense fragrance. If that's not your thing, this one isn't going to be for you, but I don't think any of the perfumes in this collection would be, because like I said, they're very strong statement perfumes. There's 2 downsides for me on this. One is the packaging. The packaging is just so vanilla. It's so bland. It's not one of those gorgeous perfume bottles that you want to display on your vanity. It's just really basic, and I don't know if it's true that they're trying to like cater to that whole unisex fragrance, but it's not appealing. The other thing is the price point. So yes, they're definitely a luxury fragrance brand, but in saying that, a little goes a long way. So that's kind of for you to make up your mind. If you've tried any of these perfumes or any other in the Collection Privée, drop them in the comments below. I like kind of comparing notes and hearing from you and seeing what you think as well, because I think perfumes are such a personal thing as well. And what one person likes, the other person doesn't like, otherwise we'd all be wearing the same perfume. Anyway, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a quick thumbs up and subscribe.